Tom is known affectionately as the guy with all the money on campus.
Woo!
Yeah, that's right. Tom is our foundation director, so he's going to talk to you a little bit about what the foundation does.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome. So as Bill said, I represent the Bakersfield College Foundation. The sheet that's coming around to you tells you what we do. Because while people accuse me of having the money, it's not my money. And so there are certain rules in terms of how all of us can spend it. Our staff consists of, I'm the executive director, Heather Piniella is our community donor relations coordinator. We actually have another one, Elise Brayton, who's been recently hired, but she also got a job working out of her house with a firm in Bozeman, Montana. So she'll be gone in a couple weeks, and we wish her well, but we'll be replacing that position. Elise is also a donor relations coordinator working specifically with the Current Promise, and that's something that you all have probably heard about or been part of. And then Courtney Carter is our executive secretary. Courtney is one, and she's listed in the sheet that I've handed out. If you have any questions about things that involve your working with the foundation, Courtney is the one to call. Her number is the same as the general foundation number, which is 4,800. So she's a great resource. And then Debbie Zuick is our sort of database gift processing person. So, I mean, if you come to the foundation, you have a problem, any of us can help you. But Debbie is the one that if you have donations for a fundraising event or a check that somebody's given to you, Debbie is the one who processes it. And she's also the one that creates acknowledgement letters that come out from the foundation thanking people for their gifts. So when people give donations, for the most part, to Bakersfield College, they're actually giving them to the foundation. That we're sort of the fiscal agent, if you will, for the college in terms of dealing with non-state funds. So, okay, so that's who we are, what we do. We raise money for scholarships, programs, equipment, in a perfect world, buildings, although most of the buildings that you see here on campus are paid for by, state funds and bond measures and that sort of thing. But, if we have the right person, like this, the Levin Center was provided for money from Dr. Norm Levin, who ended up giving BC about $20 million in the last 5 years, or last 3 years. He died 3 years ago, just about the time I started here. At that point, that was the largest single gift that had ever been given to a community college. I heard just the other day that somebody in Texas gave $28 million. So now we're number 2, but we're trying harder. We manage the endowment, and our endowment right now is about $39 million, which is quite sizable for a community college. What managing it means is we have an investment advisor or a group of investment advisors called Common Fund. They invest it for us. Last year, our endowment earned 10.88%. So that's pretty good. That's more than most of us can do out in investing. But that varies. Some 2 years ago, when there was the downturn, we earned more like 2%. Why that's important to you is, well, I'll get to that in a second. And I hope that's not my wife. Dana and I are actually married, and she gives me all sorts of trouble for not having my phone on. So this is one of the few times that it's on. I don't know why, because it's usually off. Okay, in terms of scholarships, we work with financial aid to pay out scholarships. And how that works is a donor will come to our office and they'll say, I want to set up a scholarship because I want to honor, my parents or whatever. So we work with them. Heather and I will sit down with them. We help them work out what the criteria for the scholarship is. We set it up in Academic Works. And how many of you know what Academic Works is? Oh, okay. So the financial aid operation has a software package that's called Academic Works. And so students can go online and see every scholarship opportunity that's available at Bakersfield College. They can also see scholarships that are out there that aren't through Bakersfield College, but sometimes we'll get a letter that says, we have a scholarship, tell your students about it, and Academic Works is where they find that information. They can also apply through Academic Works. They can see information about the donors. There's a donor profile, so if it's, honoring Mary and Bob Smith, you can see a picture of Mary and Bob Smith. If we have it, we set up that part. But we set it up, we work with the donors, then financial aid does the process of screening the students to see if they meet the criteria, and they're the ones who award the money. We just hold the money. So that's our interaction with financial aid. We put on a number of campus events. We put on the Alumni Barbecue, which is tomorrow. Heather, do you want to?
Sure, hi everyone. Pardon my casual appearance because we are in the midst of setting up Tailgate, which is the Alumni Association barbecue tomorrow. If you haven't had a chance to hear about it, that's why I'm here. I'm also pushing tickets, so these are the last 14 tickets that we have on hand personally that don't need the fee paid. They are $25 for adults. That includes the New York Steak barbecue lunch, dinner. Mento Guru will be playing. I don't know how many locals there are, but Mento Guru is a local band. They're awesome. And it also includes your entrance to the game, which I don't think the staff will be happy about. But it's going to be a great day. The weather's going to be perfect if you'd like to connect. You don't have to be an alumni. It's going to be a great time. So if you're interested in tickets, let me know.
We are! There you go.
And in case you don't know where it is, it's going to be outside. It's on the north side of the stadium in what I think is referred to as Red and White Way. It's outside the entrance to the gym, and that's called the Huddle, which is that part on this level. There's a big tent there now, and it'll be a lot of fun. So we hope you show up for that. We do two other events. We do Sterling Silver, which is a sort of high-end $200 a plate, where we invite the movers and shakers in Bakersfield. In the last couple of years, we've been honoring people who are important to BC. Our honorees this year is we're honoring Marco and Theo Zaninovich, who are big individual donors. We're honoring Kern Schools Federal Credit Union. Kern Schools is the bank across the street here, across Mount Vernon. They've been supporting BC for years in all sorts of different areas, so we're recognizing them. And we're also recognizing Ken Byram, who is a lawyer here in town, and this is kind of a BC service medal. He's been on the foundation board since it started in '75, and he'll also work with us to do estate planning. If a donor comes to us and wants to include the college in their will, Ken will set that up for free. So he's been a great guy, and we're recognizing him. The honor celebration takes place in the spring. We've done a variety of things in the past trying to find the perfect thing. We have a donor dinner where we invite all of the scholarship donors who are living. And I mean, we have hundreds of scholarships, and a bunch of them, they're not living. But the ones who are, we invite them. We invite their students. We do the departmental award ceremony there, and also the leadership awards. So it's a nice dinner. It's going to be on Friday, April 27th, which is the kind of the end of the week before graduation and finals week and all of that. Anyhow, that's something that we do, and then we're also doing a barbecue for all of the scholarship recipients, and that'll be on May 2nd, and we're going to link it up to, there's a big choral concert on campus where all the choir and the jazz band and all those are doing a kind of an end of semester program, and that's on, I think, Monday, May 2nd. It's the 2nd, I'm not sure whether that's Monday or Tuesday, and so we're doing a barbecue for all the students then. So those are basically the events that we do. We're the bank, if you will, for all non-state funds. So if your department gets donations, does fundraisers, that sort of thing, the money that you all bring in or a donor gives to you that's not controlled by the state comes to us. And so many departments have departmental funds, and we're the ones who hold that for them. We contribute money to campus projects through the Renegade Innovation Fund. I have a handout on that I'll give you. We just approved $81,000 in things for here on campus. One of them is $37,000 worth of microscopes for biology. So that's just an example. And as you'll see on the fund, you can. There's not a lot of restrictions. We're looking though for something that you can't get funding maybe other places. But look at it. The board's, for the most part, pretty easy, assuming we have money to give. Okay, we have 3 types of accounts. Trust accounts, which are like checking accounts, quasi-endowment accounts, and endowment accounts. The trust fund is just like your checking account. So a department, athletics, sets up an account. They come to our office. We need $300 to set one up. You can't set up your own just for you, but within your department there may be several different things that you can do. And if you're bringing in money for something that you're doing, you can go to your department chair, work with us, and we get it set up. When I say a quasi-endowment, okay, back to the trust funds, we don't charge any money for administering that. So if you've got money in there and you need to pay for something, then there's several processes you go through to get it taken care of, and we'll write the check and pay it for you. Quasi-endowments take a little more money to set up, $1,000. What happens there is those monies are actually invested with our investment advisors, so they make earnings. And the way the earnings go is they're calculated on a quarterly basis. Like I said, last year we made almost 11%. So in years where we make 10%, if your fund has $100,000 in it and we make 10%, it grows by $10,000 that year. And that's added to the fund. In a quasi-endowment, you can use the spendable income from it, the $10,000 that we've made. You can also invade the principal to spend that money. And if you're, as a department, or if you're building up a fund, oftentimes we suggest it goes in a quasi-endowment so you can actually tap it while it's growing. And then a pure endowment takes $10,000 to set up. You can only use the income off of that. Oftentimes the way those happen is a donor will come in, here's $100,000, I want to do a scholarship fund, I want it to last forever, so I only want you to spend the income. And we keep track of that, so in the first year, if they've given us $100,000 and there's no earnings in it that first year, we don't award it the first year. We charge for that. We charge a 2% annual fee, both on quasi-endowment and endowment funds. That's kind of typical for community colleges. If you're earning 10%, it's not a big deal because, people are thrilled to get their 8%. If we're only earning 2%, the 2% fee is a big deal. But our investment performance over the last 7 or 8 years has been over 7%. So that covers, we figure, about a 4 to 5% spendable rate out of our endowment and quasi-endowments because we want it to grow, and that covers the fee. Let's see. Okay, when it comes to spending money out of a foundation account, there's kind of a bunch of things you have to do. I don't know if you've had any experience with requisitions or purchase orders. Your departmental secretary is a great resource to find out how to do that. If they're not available or don't know what they're doing, call Courtney, because Courtney knows how to handle it, and she'll lead you through what you need. As an example, though, if you say you have money out of your foundation account to go to a conference or to go to some event, one of the things we require is like a flyer on what the event was, and we require who attended. So that's just something that if you're involved in an activity like that, just know that you have to keep track of some of those things. We handle payroll deductions, and I have forms here. So on a payroll deduction, if you want to support a certain area here on campus, you can fill this form out. You can turn it into us. You can turn it into HR. Then it comes out of your paycheck, whatever you set up and how frequently that you do it. But our office is the one that makes sure it goes to the right account. There are some general places you can make employee donations to, or you can be real specific. So you can also make donations online. If you go to the BC website, Bakersfield College website, and check on foundation, then there's a donation button for that. We also have a foundation website, which is www.supportbc.org, and you can donate through there. That site isn't up yet. It'll be up November 1st. Both of those websites are where you can get information about the Renegade Innovation Fund. You can pass those around. So that's how you can apply for, it's essentially a grant that's paid for out of BC's unrestricted monies. The other thing that we do is we help you fundraise. So if you've got an idea about how to raise money for a project, you're welcome to come to our office and talk to us about what your ideas are. There's not a lot of rules in terms of doing that. You couldn't set up your own travel fund for vacation. We won't let you do that. But we'll work with you. We'll help you strategize. Thank you. Did everybody get one? We'll help you strategize about what you do. If we have access to maybe, who are the alums that we have records on that, majored in biology, that we'll try to work with you to find those so that you've got some prospects to go over. If you identify somebody who you think might help you in terms of your program or your students, we're happy to strategize with you. We'll even help you make the ask. But that's what we do. We're here to help you, and we hope you'll use it. So, any questions? Okay. Thank you. Now, I'm sorry, what's your name?
How can I set up my own scholarship?
You mean if you wanted to set up a scholarship in your own name? Or
somebody else.
Yeah, you just come to our office and talk to Heather or me, and we'll sit down with you and help you figure out the criteria and what account it should go in, and how you're going to pay for it. You know, whether you do it by payroll deduction or an initial gift. So yeah, we do that all the time. Yeah. Well, thank you for your attention. Again, welcome to BC. We're glad you're here. Yeah. Heather's going to stand outside and browbeat you to buy tickets to the event. So
It's always a
Thanks,
good
Bill.
event, though.
Yeah.
Every year.
thank you.
Okay. Thanks, Tom.